Back once again, to MacDonald. Having missed a goal chance earlier on, he's not going to miss another opportunity. It's 7-all. Won well by Paul Duffy. Looks around for Aaron Kernan, who tries to find MacDonald and succeeds. Back in as far as Charlie Vernon. Back to MacDonald. Onto the left. This to give them a more breathing space heading into the break. Another from the team captain. Well, that's the whistle for half time, just as this one lands over the bar. And at the break, it's Armagh 8, it's Down 7. It's one here by Peter Fitzpatrick. Oh, stolen away from him there while he was pondering his next move by Garrett Swift. Danny Hughes. Kevin McKernan now. Switch wings. Again, Hughes slipping it forward here for Fitzpatrick to hit from 45 metres out from the target. And he's put it over. Good point by Peter Fitzpatrick. Nice build-up. And he was waiting there for the ball to come his way and level it up. 3 times they've been level, 8 points apiece. Big leap in the air to touch it down, and Armagh again are beginning to win the scraps. But this time Duffy holds on too long. So there's a chance for Down to try and see what they can do. And in particular John Clark stumbling there with Brendan Donaghy. And it's gone for a 45. Marty Clark ready to kick it. It's curling, it's moving brilliantly in there. It's back of the net. Just watch this from Clark. Moving, well directed, and Benny Coulter came across to apply the decisive finish. 11 minutes into the second half. Is that the moment when this game turns around in Down's favour? MacDonald inside to Aaron Kernan. Kernan releasing this one as far as Stephen Forker, and Forker puts it over. First point for the substitute, and the team's level for the 5th time. Vernon slipping it beautifully forward here. Malmachan shooting and putting it over the bar. Great score by Malmachan. So Armagh are ahead by a score once again, 15 points to 111. Inside towards Jamie Clark, getting away from his man. Downer after him, it's into Mackin, and it's over the bar. Armagh by 2. The linesman back there is calling the referee. That's Eddie Kinsella from Laois. Something that he saw maybe. That's Aaron Kernan there tussling with Dan McCartan. Oh, that is very nasty. And the referee gives him a red card. Dan McCartan is sent off. Down have got to get a goal. Otherwise it's Armagh's title. It's kicked forward here. It just has to cross the boundary lines, but when is it going to cross the line? And where will it cross it? A real pile up. The referee gives a free out. A free out to Armagh. It's kicked into the crowd. It's all over. Armagh are the league champions by 17 points to 1 goal and 12.
Can you sustain that sort of form, do you think, for the championship?
Well, you know, we've put 2 solid performances back to back now, Donegal and Down, while we went into both games probably as underdogs, so I'm sure we're going to be getting into the Derry match as underdogs as well, but if we can put in a performance like that, we'll be thereabouts.
Well, certainly a keenly contested Division 2 final, but Armagh obviously finishing the stronger. Anthony Toll, towards the end of that match, it looked like it might be heading to extra time, but like I suppose the great Armagh team of a couple of years ago, this team seems to know how to rescue a game and get that tight finish.
Yeah, they do, and it's important to stress that really this is a new Armagh team. You know, it's a young Armagh side. Stephen McDonald, other than him, Andy Mallon perhaps, all the other lads are young, and they've learned from what the other guys have done in the past, and the great Armagh sides that were always able to find a way to win matches when other teams would have lost them, and certainly those traits were evident today with this new Armagh side, and they were okay. They were too heavily reliant on Steve McDonald up front. Ronan Clark wasn't there, so a lot of pressure on Steve McDonald. He seemed to have got a new lease of life this year. He's playing superb football and enjoying his football. But it took the introduction maybe of the substitutes, Malky Mackin and Stephen Fokker, to come in and get the necessary points to take Armagh home.
Like Kevin, who was talking about how Cork got their scores in the Division 1 final, you were also impressed with Armagh and the way they took their scores. Yeah,
well, Down worked very hard throughout, and particularly in their defensive strategy. They brought a lot of players back and they tried to protect the area in front of their own goals. So when teams do that, you need fellas who can step up and take points from distance. And you had Finney and Moriarty there stepping aside Stephen Kearney and kicking a wonderful point off the outside of his boot. And this was certainly one of the big reasons I thought why Armagh won the game today. Great support play, and Gareth Swift, he kicked 2 points from play. That would have been the better one. Again, look at from the distance that the Armagh players are able to have the confidence and back their own judgment and take on the shot and kick it over. Again, Paul Duffy coming up from wing back and kicking a great point. And I talked about Stephen McDonald earlier on. Here we go, Steve McDonald of old, just a shot that you don't think it's possible to put the ball over from that angle. Wonderful exhibition of point scoring from play and from distance to counteract that tight defence that Down were employing.
Apart from losing the match towards the end of the game, Down picked up a red card as well.
Yeah, and it was a very, very sorry way for Down's league campaign to finish. And you had the game at this stage. The game's over. There's no need for these two players to get involved with one another. And irrespective of whether or not Daniel McCartan thinks that Aaron Kernan has followed through with his knees there, he knows that he can't do this on a football pitch, and he protests when the referee gives him a red card. But when he looks at that and when he considers his own actions, he knows he's got no complaints there. And for what was a very, very positive, encouraging league campaign for Down, led by his brother and inspired by his brother James, Daniel will be feeling pretty down about that, but he can have no complaints. And could be costly
for the championship. OK, now apart from today's matches at Croke Park, there were two other finals this weekend at headquarters in Division 3 and 4. Now in a moment the meeting of Limerick and Waterford, but first the Division 3 decider between Sligo and Antrim. Here's John Kenny.
These sides met in the Division 4 decider last year, which was won by Sligo, and the Westerners started with intent as Sligo took an early lead through Mark Brehony's point. Sligo pretty much bossed the first half and went to the break leading by 4 points. An Alan Costello score meant they went to the half leading by 9 points to 5. But Antrim hit back in the second half and reduced the margin to a point, and Gerard O'Boyle's score cut the margin down to 10 points to 9. Again, Sligo hit back and stretched their lead to 5 points before Antrim got right back in the contest as Thomas McCann played in his brother Michael for an excellent goal. McCann's goal through the legs of the keeper cut the deficit back to 2 points. But it was Sligo who finished the stronger, and 3 late points from substitute Stephen Cohn, including the final score of the contest, gave his side a 5-point winning margin. Waterford, looking for their first senior silverware since 1957's Munster title, were on the scoreboard first against Limerick when Brian Wall struck for the first score of the evening. But Limerick were soon in front and were aided by a rather fortuitous goal from corner forward Ger Collins in the 9th minute. Collins, going for a point, was stunned to see the ball hit the back of the net. Collins' looping effort completely deceived the Waterford keeper Tom Wall. Waterford, though, hit back, aided by 6 unanswered scores, but Limerick clung on to their lead, and a late point from Ian Ryan meant they went to the break, leading 1-8 to 10 points. It was a tight contest throughout, and Waterford dug deep to keep in touch with Limerick, and they were aided by a terrific goal from Liam O'Lonan. O'Lonan's goal put Waterford 2 points ahead midway through the second half. But they could only manage one more point in the remaining minutes as Limerick added 5 themselves. The final one from Ger Collins took his tally to a goal and 6. And Limerick's first trophy for 114 years as they won 116 to 114.
And congratulations to both Sligo and Limerick on their victories this weekend. Kevin, just looking at that Sligo victory, I've been keeping an eye on their results because, of course, former Galway star Kevin Walsh, the manager there now, they're going nicely.
Well, Kevin Walsh can take a bow for sure because his team did him proud last night. I thought they were terrific. I really enjoyed that match. A lot of energy, a lot of buzz. And some players, that we're going to hear a lot about during the summer, they are going to be serious for any team that meets them this summer. They're going to have a say, I'd say, a long summer.
Let's look at Limerick, because with all the shenanigans going on and hurling down the county, the footballers have been tipping away nicely and trying to get back, and obviously this victory was important as well.
Yeah, it was important. They were relegated last season, and it was important that they bounced straight back up into Division 3. They're not a Division 4 side. They are better than that. They've had a couple of runs in the qualifiers over the last few years. They were marginally the better team yesterday, insofar as they had the better standard of forwards in the end.